Welcome back to the Flying with the Flock podcast, best place to get all of your Eagles and other NFL related news. I'm your host, Matt, and welcome to this short episode of the podcast due to the fact that I am actually pretty sick right now. So luckily on the tail end of things, but still don't have enough in me to do a full 1 hour episode for you guys. So whatever the time is, it is. It will definitely be around at least 10 minutes, so I'll give you guys some of your money's worth. But before we jump into it, if you guys could leave a like and subscribe down below, that would be much appreciated. Your support never goes unnoticed, and yeah, let's just hop right into it. So instead of going through all the past games this weekend, I picked out some of the more major news and some of the more major stories that came out of this weekend, and then we'll just go right into this coming weekend's games. So the biggest news to me is Philip Rivers coming out of retirement to play for the Colts. Now, quick history lesson. For all of you that do not know who Philip Rivers is, he was a quarterback taken in 2004 by the New York Giants, who was then traded for Eli Manning to the San Diego Chargers. He played almost his entire career at San Diego, and I think they were still San Diego. No, they were also LA by the end of his career. And he played with famous running backs like LaDainian Tomlinson, wide receivers like Keenan Allen, who are still in the league. And he was one of the top quarterbacks at the time. Philip Rivers played for the Colts his last season in 2020, so it's been 5 years since Rivers has taken a snap of pro football. And this was a completely different Colts team, different owners, different coach. Luckily, he's become good friends with the head coach of the Colts, Shane Steichen, which is probably what enticed him to come out of retirement. So Rivers last played when he was 40. He is now 44. Okay? So Rivers being 44, here's some stats for you NFL people that know a little bit about the NFL. Last time that Rivers took a snap in the NFL, Matthew Stafford was still a Lion. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Matt Ryan were all still starting quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers hadn't even won his third MVP. He was on his way to. He would do that later that same season. And there was one more. Oh, and a lot of the starting quarterbacks that you see today weren't even drafted. All right, let's go down some of the NFL starting quarterbacks list. Let's see. Bryce Young was not in the NFL. Caleb Williams was not in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders, who we'll come back and talk about in a little bit here, not in the NFL. Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud. Let's see. J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, Brock Purdy, Cam Ward, Jane Daniels. So a lot of these, and Jalen Hurts didn't get a start. Oh, no, he did get 1 or 2 starts during that season. So, I'm going to rescind that one. Jalen Hurts did get a couple starts during that season. But overall, the last time that Rivers played was a long time ago when you look at the landscape of how the NFL looks today. So I just want to put that out there that they're bringing back a 44-year-old quarterback to replace an injured Daniel Jones, who suffered an Achilles injury and will be out for the rest of the season. And they also, their backup quarterback, Riley Leonard, who's a rookie, is week to week with a knee injury. So Rivers, I guess, to them was uh, their best shot. I mean, I don't really know, and I don't entirely agree with that. There's definitely some backup quarterbacks that they could have brought in. Anthony Richardson is obviously still injured for the Colts, so they could trade it for Dylan Gabriel or Joe Flacco. All right, I am still kind of amazed at the fact that they still got a guy that was around when I was still a bit younger and watching the league and just starting to understand football as the game overall. They brought him out of retirement. I mean, this is actually pretty shocking to me. I wouldn't. This was not on my bingo card for the NFL this season. Uh, Rivers obviously has never won a Super Bowl. He's never been to a Super Bowl. So he still had a lot to prove by the time that he retired. Maybe he can make a run here. But how the Colts looked against the Texans and the Jaguars the past 2 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if they start to fade off into the background to finish off this season. All right, so another big quarterback story that I wanted to touch on was the performance that came out of Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders. Actually, let's do it this way. Give me one sec here. All right. So, Shedeur Sanders won 23 of 42, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception through the air. He also led the team in rushing yards with 3 carries for 29 yards and 1 touchdown. So he had an amazing performance for a rookie quarterback, in my opinion. There's only ever been one quarterback to supersede that stat line as a rookie, that being Joe Burrow. So, but Shedeur Sanders came as close as anybody physically could. I am still kind of surprised that Shedeur's playing this well. Kevin Stefanski definitely didn't help him out, let's be honest here. I mean, I'm a Kevin Stefanski defender. I mean, it doesn't help that I know people related to him, but still, ultimately, it's hard for me to defend that kind of coaching where he kind of screwed him over. I still feel like he screwed over Shedeur in this 31-29 loss to the Titans. The Titans out of all teams. And it's not like Cam Ward had that good of a game. He went 14 of 29, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception through the air. He did not have that good of a game. But somebody that I was expecting to have a better game was Myles Garrett, who had the team's only sack, the 1 sack. So, I wonder where he's at right now. Hold on, let's see. Sack total. No, not career sacks. Alright, so he's at 20 sacks. He needs 2.5 more. 3 more to break the all-time record. He still has, 3 or 4 games at this point to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks, I'm not sure who the Browns are playing. I don't know much. I've been very disoriented due to what I've been fighting against. I have the Bears, which could be a difficult game for them to get that. Bills could be difficult. Steelers could be difficult, or it could be very easy. Bengals probably could be pretty easy. So, if there was a time to get close, it was that Titans game. And so that's slightly upsetting that he wasn't able to get there. But at this point, there's nothing else that he can really do besides hunker down and kind of push forward. I think that's all the stories that I wanted to touch on while I have y'all. I don't think there's college football stories that I could touch on. Indiana beating Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. Notre Dame opting out of a bowl game. If you're really interested in football and guys would like to see me expand my 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 kind of my corner of the football world, maybe I could do like a monthly show about college football. But until I see interest about that, then stay tuned. All right. Yeah, so let's just hop into the my picks for this upcoming weekend at this point. Um, Last week I went 7-7 on my picks, ultimately putting me at 133-74 on the season. Still 77 correct guesses away from getting my total that I was looking to get. All right. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So on Thursday night, we have an interesting matchup. We have the Buccaneers versus the Falcons. Now the Buccaneers struggled, and I feel like they lost to the Saints. And that's what I want to say. What the hell? Now, give me 1 second here. Alright, I'm having some technical difficulties. I'll be right back. Alright, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Saints did beat the Buccaneers. So for this week, I'm going to have to go with the Buccaneers. I feel like they're going to have a bounce-back game against their division opponent, the Atlanta Falcons, who have not looked that good, especially under Kirk Cousins' watch at QB. So give me the Buccaneers beating up on the Falcons, probably 24-10 on Thursday Night Football. Next up, we got Bears-Browns. Give me the Bears. I think the Bears bounce back. They still look good in their loss against the Packers in Lambeau. That's always a tough place to play for any team. So give me the Chicago Bears beating the Cleveland Browns in a closer matchup than probably what most people think. Let's go 35-24. Next up, we got Ravens-Bengals. Give me the Bengals. I just feel like they're going to find a way to be the Ravens' kryptonite this season. And with that loss to the Steelers, that was kind of a heartbreaker for the Ravens. I don't think that they're going to find any momentum now, and they're probably going to start to skid. So give me the Bengals beating the Ravens pretty dominantly, 38-16. Next up, we have the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Now, both teams are mediocre at best. Chargers, obviously, big win against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Chiefs, big loss against the Texans on Sunday Night Football. So, taking that all into account, I'm going to choose the Chargers based off of the momentum that they have coming off of a big primetime win. And this defense really stepping up late in the season. If the Chiefs can get after Justin Herbert and get him on the ground a bit, though, I still feel like there's a chance that the Chiefs could pull this out and go 7-7 on the season so far. But give me the Chargers in a close matchup, 27-24 over the Chiefs. Next up, we have the Bills versus Patriots. Something just tells me that the Bills are going to find a way to win because they're kind of the main character this season anyway. So give me the Bills finding a way to win in a close matchup, one-score game against the Patriots, 28-24. Commanders-Giants. Give me the Giants. I think they're just a better overall team compared to where the Commanders are at this season. And I feel like the Giants could ultimately find a way to just waffle stomp this Commanders team at this point. who are kind of down in the dumps, with Jaden Daniels' future being of the season at the very least being questionable, and Zach Ertz obviously receiving a season-ending injury. At 3-10, I don't think they're going to try much more. So give me the Giants beating the Commanders. Still a tough divisional game, but give me the Giants 31 to the Commanders 20. Raiders-Eagles. Now, I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm going to this game. And the one thing I will say, during 2023, late in the season, the Eagles were favored at 11.5 against an upstart Arizona Cardinals team. They are currently favored at 11.5 against this Raiders team. Based off of how this Eagles team is playing, I would not be completely shocked if the Raiders find a way to upset this Eagles team. But I still feel like it is more likely that the Eagles find a way to win. Not convincingly, just find a way to win. And so they end up going and winning 24-10 against the Raiders. Next up, we have Jets, Jaguars. Jaguars on a roll, especially coming off of their win against Indianapolis. Ultimately, they're marching on a team that's already been eliminated from the playoffs. And the Jets really don't have much to play for anymore. They have the backup quarterback in. They need a franchise guy, and they're probably going to have to get him in the draft now. So ultimately, give me the Jaguars beating up on this poor Jets team 42-17. Cardinals, Texans, give me the Texans. This Texans defense has been lights out against everybody they've come against. And if it wasn't for how bad their offense was, I would probably favor the Texans to arguably come out of the AFC at this point. But as of right now, I would like to see a little bit more development out of C.J. Stroud and seeing how he ups his game coming this close to playoff time. Cardinals just suck, so this should be an easy win for the Texans. So give me Houston to beat Arizona 27-17. Next up, we got Packers-Broncos. I feel like this Broncos defense is going to make the Packers look like a fool. Packers are favored at minus 135, but I still would take the Broncos on this bet here. Their defense is just going to come up clutch, even if their offense falls flat, which it normally does. So I have them winning on a last-second field goal, possibly in overtime against the Packers. Yeah, give me the Broncos beating the Packers. What's a fair score? 30. No, not 30. Neither of them are going to score that high. 23-20. Alright, so next up we have Lions-Rams. This is going to be one of the top matches of the weekend. And this is where I'm going to be picking my upset of the week. Give me the Lions. I think, especially after that win against Dallas, they're going to find some form of momentum. And we've learned that the Rams are not untouchable. Any team can come in and beat them. And so that's why I give the Lions a good shot here. Coming into LA and upsetting Detroit by the likes of 35-24. Next up, we have the Panthers versus the Saints. Although the Saints just got an amazing upset against the Buccaneers, I think the Panthers, seeing that, are going to be ready, and they're going to find a way to win. Coming off of a bye week, still tied with the Buccaneers for first place, and then coming up in the next couple of weeks playing the Buccaneers twice. I think the Panthers are going to stick with it and try to find a way to surge late here in the season. So give me the Panthers over the Saints, 31-20. I don't know why this game's in a primetime spot. Titans 49ers. Give me the 49ers all day. I'm not really going to explain my pick here. Give me the 49ers over the Titans. 30-7. 30-7. Colts Seahawks could be the first time we get to see Phillip Rivers play. But that being said, give me the Seahawks. I think this defense is starting to pick it up here, even if this offense is starting to lose its touch that it had early in the season. So give me the Seahawks shutting down this Colts offense, even if they have Phillip Rivers in at quarterback. Give me the Seahawks 27-7. Vikings Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. I think they see the Eagles starting to fall here, so they're going to try to make a late season surge. And the Vikings, I would not be surprised if they come out and they actually somehow win against Dallas. But give me the Cowboys. That's an easier pick for me here. Give me the Cowboys in a close matchup. 30-27. And Monday night, we have Steelers versus Dolphins. Give me the Steelers. They're going to find a way to start building up their lead in the AFC North and start to fight for seeding with the other AFC division leaders. And so there's no better team to start doing that against than the Miami Dolphins here. So give me the Steelers 24-17 over the Dolphins. Alright, so that's it for this week's episode of the podcast. Again, sorry. Hopefully I should start to feel better by next week, and then we'll jump into all the analysis of the games that happened that I just predicted. Obviously, I wasn't really going to analyze the Eagles game this week anyway. Everybody could see that with their own two eyes. And it's the same thing I've been saying for weeks. So, yeah. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a good one. And remember, go Birds.